Good morning. Today is January 10th at about 11 o'clock a.m. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday. I plan to watch a little football tonight. It's going to be fun. Um, I'm rooting for the Bears personally. So I am sitting in front of my desk because I have a Zoom coming up. But earlier this morning, my aunt, one of my favorite people, called me and she said, I'm just kind of stressed out by everything. I'm sleeping bad and I go to sleep. It takes me a long time to sleep because I'm thinking about all this stuff, right? And, you know, we talked for like 15 minutes. And I think when we got off the phone, I think she felt better because what I did was give her advice based on what I plan to follow, not what I'm following, what I plan to follow. And that is this, which means the advice didn't come from me. So here's what I said. Everything you see in the world right now, we're going to start from a spiritual place and then go up to the street. The spiritual place is everything that you see on planet Earth, not just now, but since the beginning of human history, is based on a series of pendulums. The pendulum is a thing. It's not a thing you can put your hands on, but it's a thing. And that thing, in order to maintain its existence, requires energy. And that energy comes from you, your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. All right? The pendulum does not care. It does not concern itself with what side you're on. The pendulum just wants you to take one, pick one, live in one, a side, right? Let me give you a very simple example. Let's take bees. Now, if you know anything about biology, you know that without honeybees, we cease to exist. We will not be able to eat, right? But a lot of people are afraid of bees. And why? Because somewhere, at some point in history, people said bees are dangerous. A bee will sting you. Don't get stung by a bee. When in most cases, if you get stung by anything, it's going to be a wasp, right? But bees, honeybees and bumblebees rarely sting. And the reason why a honeybee rarely stings is because it only gets one time to do it. A honeybee's body is designed where when that sting comes out, it tears their guts out. And they are going to die after that sting. So most times, they only sting when they're protecting the hive. But if you don't know that, you've been on that bees will hurt you pendulum. And then you either on this side, I'm afraid, or this side, you don't need to be. And then the pendulum just swings. But as long as there's at least two people or two sets of thoughts on one side or the other, the pendulum gets to work. How wide it swings is based on how wide the examples that the pendulum gives to you to substantiate or disprove your point, right? And let's take it another level. If the two sides get some education, then they're not as far apart anymore. They're right in here. They might still be a little scared, might still think the scared person's crazy, but the pendulum's doing this. Pendulum doesn't like that. Doesn't like that because that's not enough energy. Because eventually it'll do this and then it's not swinging. Pendulum dies. Pendulums are not very smart, just like cancer. Cancer is not very smart. Most parasites, remember that word. Most parasites aren't very smart. So a parasite will jump on you like cancer or manifest itself in you like cancer and feed on you until you die. What do you think happens to that cancer when you die? Do you think it jumps over to somebody else? No, it dies. It's not very smart, right? Instead of just eating a little bit of you at a time, like aging, which is a disease, it eats a lot and then it dies, right? Now I said aging. Aging is a pendulum because everybody believes you're going to die from something. And then there's some people who believe I'm going to fight death to the end. So then you got this. Now everybody believes they're going to die, but recently we found that aging is a disease and it's curable. How long do you think it's going to take before everybody finally realizes that and that pendulum is gone? It's a pendulum. So let's go with another one. Politics. Politics is one of the biggest politics, religion, two of the biggest pendulums on earth, designed to do one thing, keep you on it, keep you on the ride, right? It's like Vegas. It's like going into a casino. A casino has one job, keep you in the casino. That's why they let you win a little bit so you can lose a little bit. And guess what they always say? The house always wins. So get off the pendulums, guys. Get off. Politics is the pendulum, is one of the biggest ones ever. That's why they only give you two sides to work with. Left, right. Democrat, Republican. Conservative, progressive. Right? Lefty, righty. Rethugla crooks, Demo crooks. Left, right. They give you two. There will never be a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh because the political pendulum cannot function if you got so much stuff going on. Then it ain't swinging. It needs to swing. That's why they give each one 4 to 8 years, right? Just enough time to make it swing. The guy over here is only going to do so much because if he does too much, the swing stays over here too long. He's going to do something. Come over here, right? But right now, it's a different time in the world history where human beings are starting to realize, wait a minute, do we really need this? Obviously, men, especially white men, don't know what the fuck they're doing, right? They're winging it. And Donald Trump's job was to show you, look, we can wing it. Why? Because we're white. See, the big pendulum was when they made that black guy the president. And then he got 2 terms. Oh, clutch the pearls. But the only reason why they were clutching pearls, because over here they were being programmed to not like it. Yeah, you got the ACA, but they called it what? To make these people upset about it. And the reason why they allowed that over here is because you had to have that happen over here so that this over here happens. So when you swing the pendulum that far to bring in that black guy, what's the only way to swing it all the way back over here? Bring in the worst possible, not politician, worst possible, not worst possible candidate, the worst possible human in human history. Well, Greg, how can you say Donald Trump is the worst possible human in human history when you've got Leopold, who killed millions of Africans? You have Hitler, who not only killed millions of Jews, he killed everybody else. Because Hitler actually believed what he was saying. He actually believed it in his whole heart, mind, and soul that he was doing the right thing for Germany. Trump doesn't believe anything. Anything. He doesn't even believe in money. He doesn't believe in himself. That makes him very, very, very dangerous. But what keeps him from being dangerous is he's a fucking idiot. If he was smart, he'd be dangerous. All right? See, when I'm explaining this to you, that's taking you off the high end of whatever pendulum you're on. If you've been sucked into the MAGA QAnon crate, think about what QAnon actually is. They've already figured it out. It was these two goofy ass white dudes living in their mom's basement. That's why you don't hear about it much anymore. People got hip. MAGA, you're starting to realize, wait a minute, the emperor has no clothes. So let's take it another level. If I walk in your house right now and you know me, just like these people think they know him, I walk in your house right now, and instead of greeting you with a hello, a hug, or a shake, I grab you in the throat. First, you're going to think I'm just joking around because you're okay as long as I'm choking everybody else. But then when they start choking you, what? Marjorie Taylor Greene found that out quick. She got her nigger card. See, what black folks have known forever is I don't care how rich you get, no matter what status you have on in white society, you're still a nigger now. Keep it a buck. But here's what black folks won't tell you, and I'm gonna tell you now. Shh. If you're not at least a billionaire, you're a nigger. Welcome. You ain't invited to the picnic, but welcome. If you're not at least a billionaire, you're a nigga all day, every day, right? So the more you realize this ain't for you, and we're in a technological era where this ain't even needed. Why do we have representative government? Somebody tell me why we still have that. It worked like a charm in the 1700s because you didn't have planes, trains, and automobiles, right? So how does the representative government in DC, how is the state of California represented in DC? Well, people in California elect some senators and congresspeople, right? House and Senate. They elect those congresspeople, mostly white men, of course, back then. And then they took horse and buggy or whatever, went through bad lands and all that, and went all the way to DC. And when they got there, they put them up, let them live there, because you can't keep going back and forth. Takes a month just to get there. Got to have provisions and everything on the wagon, right? Right? Okay, so that's why you have representative government. Do we need that now? No. But you put 500 plus people out of jobs. While we're still doing courts with humans. If the NFL can show you with precision where the ball is supposed to be, why you still got refs? It's for the show. It's for the show, right? If there is AI, and there is, if there's AI that can literally take all of your jobs, why you still got a job? One reason. They're trying to figure out how to get rid of you easily without you going and burning down the building. Get off the pendulums, guys. If you're going to stay on top of current events, right? Real, fake, or otherwise, don't look at the, oh my God, look what they just did. Don't even look at that. You see it on, oh, I don't want to see the details of that because that's bad for my spirit. I'm gonna get away from that junk. What I'm gonna do is go look for the news about what people are doing about it. I think it was Mr. Rogers that said something like, don't look for the bad in the world, look for the good angels, the people who are doing something about it. Don't worry about what's going to come out on the Epstein files. That's anger porn. That's fear porn. That's shock porn, right? Don't worry about what's coming or what they are revealing. Don't worry about anything, but think about, let me go see what Ro Khanna and Massey are doing about it. Let me see what the House and the Senate are going to do about it. And once I see that they're doing nothing or something or a little of both, then you get back into your life because you're the king of your castle. You're the queen of your castle. Everything outside of that, it really doesn't matter. You need to start building an emotional and spiritual and aura-like moat around your castle. And you watch television and say, oh, some kids got killed. They do it every day now. Why focus on the detail of it? Focus on what they're going to do about it. And if they're not going to do anything about it, then arm up. I know what my kids' school are doing about all of this. What's your kids' school doing about it? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So what are you going to do about it? What can you do about it? Right? Now, for religion, most of y'all are spiritual punks. You hide behind your religion. You don't believe in it. You hide behind it. You either hide behind it or use it as a crutch for whatever garbage you got in your mind that you created. God ain't told you nothing. Because why would he tell your ass anything? Right? What are you, a scribe? Right? No, there's no God telling you anything. That's your better mind telling you, get out of the garbage of all this out here and get back in here. Get in here. Right? So if you're a Christian, especially in the black church, which is insanity in and of itself, but if you're in the black church, you know he does what? He sits high and does what? Exactly. If you black and been in the church, you know exactly what come after that. He sits high and does what? If you believe that, you'll probably falter. Stop believing and start knowing. Belief is just something somebody told you over and over again and it's stuck. That means it's true. It's just stuck in your brain. Get out of belief. Get out of belief. But if you want to believe, that's fine. But stop basing your life on belief. Base your life on what you know. If you know it, you know it. Jimmy Vaughn's mom, may she rest in peace, she used to say, I just know it in my knower. In my knower. All right? That's crazy. She used to say that all the time. She was a wonderful woman. She created a wonderful family. Jimmy and Stevie were great guys, great kids. Jimmy's a great guy. But as you get older, you start getting more fearful. When you get more fearful, you start lashing out and trying to gate yourself in and do all kind of crazy. No. If you believe what you say you believe, you should start to know some of these things and quit being spiritual punks. Because if you believe and you know that he sits high and As above. Now, again, the choke scenario. If I walk in your door and you know me and I start choking you, first you're going to think I'm joking. You've seen me choke people before, but first you think I'm joking. Second thing is stopping. You're starting to hurt. Squeezing tighter. Oh, you're really starting to hurt me. When are you going to thrash and fight and say the craziest shit? Right before you think you're going to die. That's why you see so much crazy shit in the news right now. That's why Donald Trump is doing all the crazy shit he's doing. That's why Pam Bondi and Christine Ohm, all these people are just satellites flying around the crazy. Moths flying around the front porch light. And the front porch light's about to get burnt out. Because one thing is true, you can base your life on it. A simple nursery rhyme written back in the 1800s, I think it was. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men, military, paramilitary, ice, couldn't put Humpty together again. The fall is coming. The question is, what are you going to do to fill that vacuum from that pendulum you've been sitting on for 10 years or more? 11:30, I got to Zoom. Making some money. Get your weight up, folks. Get your weight up. That's all I got. You guys have a great day. And as always, imparting, it's your boy G. Peace.